class, the first thing you need to do is you need to go to a plus students.com. You need to go to the website. You need to select math as your subject. Then you need to select your grade level. Your grade is grade 6. Okay. So once we're on the website, we go to mathematics and we select our grade level. That is grade 6 for today. Just listen is for grade 6. The topic for today is two-dimensional figures or shapes, right? A figure is a shape, at any two-dimensional shape, okay? And let's look at the lesson number and the chapter number. It is chapter number 30. The chapter number is chapter 30, and the lesson number is lesson number is 1, and the name of the lesson is identify and classify polygons. We'll see what are polygons today. Okay, so I hope you are connected to the website. Okay, on the website you go to maths grade 6. We go to chapter number 30, two-dimensional figures, and we are doing the first lesson for today, right? That is identify and classify polygons. Okay, okay. Let's see what are polygons. Okay, we need to understand what polygons are, right? I'll try to give, okay, the word poly means multiple, and gons would mean sides. Okay, so we know that a single line cannot make a closed shape, right? Minimum 3 sides are required to make a shape, right? So in case of polygon, what we need to see is another way to identify is a polygon is a closed shape, right? Closed shape having straight sides. The sides of the polygon have to be straight lines. Okay, let's look at an example. If I would say, and we start off with an example. Okay, 1 minute, please. Okay, let's do an example. The example would be, we have done these shapes. Okay, if I would say, if I have one line, is this a closed shape? It's just a line. It doesn't close anything in it, right? But if I have another line, is this shape a closed shape? Closed shape means that there is no opening in it, right? It's still not closed. But if I add a third line to it, is this shape closed now? That means this shape has side 1, side number 2, and side number 3, right? That means there are 3 sides forming a shape, and the name of this shape is triangle, right? That means a closed shape with straight sides would be a triangle. Similarly, if I would say, I would make a shape like this, right? So can I say there were four sides? Side number one, side number two, side number three, and side number four. Agreed? So we can say this shape is a square. Agreed? We know the shapes of this. Polygons can be any shapes having straight sides and closed, right? It can have three sides. This shape had three sides, right? This shape had four sides. There can be five sides, there can be 10 sides, but two sides will not form a closed shape, but three sides will. Okay? It could be, and four sides could be a square, it can be a rectangle, it can be a kite. Different shapes are there in that. So four-sided shapes are also known as quadrilateral. Okay? Four-sided shapes are also known as quadrilateral because a four-sided shape can be, it can be a square, right? A four-sided shape can be a rectangle. It's still a four-sided, right? It can be a diamond, right? It can be many shapes. So all these shapes are still four sides and that they are known as quadrilaterals. But quadrilaterals have specific name. The first one would be square, the second is rectangle, the third one is a diamond. So what we need to remember is, hi students, welcome. So what we need to remember is a polygon is a shape having multiple sides. The minimum side should be three sides because a triangle is closed with three sides, right? And it should have straight lines next to it. It should be made up of straight lines. Okay, so let's look at the question and let's see what they're asking us. We need to, okay, they're asking us if a shape is given to us, we need to identify whether this is a polygon or not. Okay, so keeping in mind this definition, a polygon has multiple sides, it's a closed shape, right? It has multiple sides, it's a closed shapes made up of straight sides, straight lines, right? So the first question we have is, they're asking us, is this a polygon? Question number one says there's a shape given to us. Is this a polygon? We just did the definition of polygon, right? A polygon is a closed shape, but this is an open over here, right? And it's not closed. For a polygon, it has to be a closed shape. So we can say, what can we say? This shape or this figure is not a polygon. Why is it not a polygon? Because it is not closed, right? It's not closed. Nor means neither this and this, nor it has straight sides, right? It doesn't have straight sides, nor it does, neither it has closed shape. So we would say this is not a polygon. Okay, for a shape to be a polygon, it has to be closed. It cannot be open anywhere. And this shape is made up of curves. It's a curve over here, but polygon should be a straight line. Okay, let's look at another example and let's see what we have. Okay, moving on to the next question, if I would say, okay, there is an example. They are saying, let's also count the number of sides for this. Okay, what they are saying is this shape I'll explain the term regular also, because you are finding an additional term. Is this shape a polygon? Is this shape closed? Is this shape closed? Sorry, I'll just write it again. Is this shape closed? Yes, it is. Straight sides? Yes, they are straight sides. So if both the conditions are met, we can meet both the conditions and they are met, right? So what we can say is, yes, this shape is a polygon. Okay. I'll define one more thing over here. Okay. We are using a term that says regular. Let's look at the definition of regular. The word regular, regular polygon means all the sides are of the same length. Whenever any polygon has all sides which are of same length, that means I'll just try to label side number one, right? This is side number one, side number two, side number three, okay? Side number three, side number four, side number five, side number six, okay? Side number seven, side number eight, and side number nine, okay? And the last one, side number 10. So when these 10 sides of this particular shape have the same length, it is a regular polygon. So what we write over here, yes, this shape is a regular polygon because all these sides look the same, even though the measurement is not given, but we can see by observing that. Hi everyone, welcome to the class. We are doing polygons and we are looking at polygon can be any shape, right? But there are two conditions for any shape to be a polygon, that it has to be a closed. In question one, number one, it is an open shape, right? It is not closed, so we cannot say it's a polygon. But in question number two, the shape that is given to us is closed. That means it's not open at any ends. There are 10 sides, right? It's closed and it is made up of straight lines. That means, yes, this shape is a polygon. And the definition of the word regular was, we just did the definition of regular polygon. The regular polygons, in a regular polygon, all the sides are of the same length. If these 10 sides, while observing, if they look of the same, if the units are given, let's suppose 2 centimeter each side is, then we know for sure that all the sides are same, right? But if a shape is given and we can see all the sides look similar, then we say yes, it is a regular polygon, right? Because all the sides have the same length. The opposite to regular polygon is irregular. Okay, that means not a regular polygon. That means not all sides are of same length. Okay, a basic example would be a regular polygon can be a square, right? This would be a square. An irregular polygon can be a rectangle. It still has four sides, but this is a irregular. Okay, so this is the basic difference between regular and irregular. Whenever you need to find a regular, all sides should be same, but in square all four sides are same. But in rectangle there are two pairs of equal lengths, right? So no, all sides are same. So it is a irregular polygon. Irregular because not all sides are same. Polygon because it's a closed shape and having straight sides. Okay, do we have an understanding? Do we have an understanding on this? What is a polygon? What is a regular polygon? And what is irregular polygon? A polygon would be any closed shapes having straight sides. A regular polygon will have all sides of the same length. An irregular polygon will have, they can have different lengths of the sides, but still it will be a polygon. Okay, let's try another question, another example. The next question we have is, okay, it's a different shape. It's a four-sided shape. And they're asking us if this is a polygon. You would have the same questions on your screen. I'm just copying the questions from the website, right? And we would try to input more examples into it. Okay. Let's say if this was question number 3, and what they're asking us, is this a polygon? Is this a closed shape? Is this a closed shape? Yes, it is a closed shape. Is it made of straight lines? Yes, it is made up of straight lines, right? So we can say, yes, this is a polygon. But in this question, they're not asking us if it's a regular or irregular, right? What we can see in the question is that the length of this side and the length of this side is same, right? These two sides have the same length, but not all four sides are of the same length, right? This is a polygon, but not regular polygon, right? Yes, this is a polygon because it's a closed shape. Okay, any questions? Any closed shape having straight lines will be a polygon. Okay, let's look at the next one. Okay, the first look, we'll just look at the conditions. We have two conditions for any shape to be a polygon, right? We look at the condition, and if I paste this, if I say this is the question given to us, question number 4, we have two conditions. It has to be a closed shape and it should be made of straight lines. So in this question, can we say this is a closed shape? This is an opening, right? So it's not closed. Do we agree on that? This is not a closed shape, right? Because there is an opening in this shape. Do we see any straight lines? Okay, one more thing. If the shape is something like this, I'll give you another example. It would be something like this. And in one of the sides, I remove this and I start making a curve over here. This is not a polygon. Okay, because both the conditions are not met. Because three sides are straight lines, but one side is still a curve. Going back to the same question over here, it's not closed. Do we see any straight lines? Hi, Job. We are doing polygons, and a polygon needs to have two conditions. It should be a closed shape and it should have straight lines. So in question number 4, there is no closed shape. The shape is open. And one more thing, do we see any straight lines in question number 4? No, we do not see any closed, right? So our answer should be, is this a polygon? No. This shape is not a polygon because it's not closed, nor does it have any straight lines. Okay. Moving on to the next question. We just need to remember two conditions. The shape has to be closed. The shape has to be, it needs to have straight lines. Moving on to the next question, question number 5. Let's see what they wish to ask us. The next question says it has a star. Let's see if the star is a closed shape and would the star have. Okay, this is the question that's given to us. Is this a polygon? This is question number 5. Is this a polygon? Is this a closed shape? See, we had two conditions. It has to be a closed shape and made up of straight lines. Can we see an opening in this shape anywhere? No, that means it is a closed shape, right? Is it made up of straight lines? Yes, every single line is a straight line in the shape. So we can say that it is made up of straight lines. There are just two conditions we need to justify. It has to be a closed shape and made up of straight lines. So we can say, yes, it is a polygon. Polygon is basically any shape having any number of sides, but the minimum would be 3 sides, because if you have 2 sides or one side is a line, 2 sides is still a line, but the shapes would start from 3 lines. That would be triangle, right? The minimum side requirement is 3. In this case, we have so many sides, but all the sides have the same length and they're closed and they're straight. Okay, so yes, it is a polygon. We are just identifying what is a polygon right now. Okay, let's go for the next question. Okay, now what they're asking us is we need to identify how many sides does a hexagon have. Okay, so you don't know what is a hexagon up till now. I would tell you what hexagon is, then we'll move on. Okay, then I'll explain further shapes. This is question number 6. How many sides does a hexagon have? This is hexagon, like a polygon. Hexa means 6 and gon means sides. Okay, the shape of the hexagon would be something like this. I'll give you further explanation later. This would be a hexagon, like a honeycomb, right? We can say there is one side, two sides, three sides, four sides, five sides, and six sides, right? So let's see how we can identify shapes having different number of sides. A hexagon would always have 6 sides, right? It's the answer that I'm giving to you right now. Let's look at the explanation, okay? So if I say, let's make a grid that says number of sides and the name of the shape, okay? Or name of polygon. So let's see what can be. If there are 3 sides, the polygon is known as triangle. Okay. If there are 4 sides, it's known as a quadrilateral. Okay. Quadrilateral. If there are 5 sides, it's known as pentagon. Okay. If there are 6 sides, it's known as hexagon. Hexa is always 6. Okay. Penta is 5. Hexa is 6. Let's look at 7. Okay, I'll give it. First time I'll do it. 7 would be hepta. Heptagon. They would usually ask you to remember till 10 sides. After 10, you don't need to remember. Okay. It's not given. 8 would be octa. Octagon. That means octagon means 8 sides. 9 is 9 is known as nano. And you need to write sides, GON, nanogon. And the last one is 10. 10 is always referred to as deca, DECA. And for the sides, we write GON. So this over here, we have the breakup of the names and with the number of sides. Okay. So if we can remember these, in the previous question, they asked us what was a hexagon, right? If we would have done this already, we would already know that a hexagon has 6 sides. Okay. Okay. If the question, let's just give me a minute. If I would change the question and if I would say just this, the differentiation. Okay. So we'll try to remember these values. 3 sides, triangle. 4 sides, quadrilateral. 5 sides, pentagon. 6 sides, hexagon. 7, hepta. 8, octagon. 9, nanogon. And 10, decagon, right? So if I would give you another example, question number 7. Okay, question number 7 says, how many sides does let's pick up an option. uh, I'll have, okay, does a pentagon have, right? So we can refer to the grid. Penta is always 5, right? That means the shape should be something like this. 5 sides. Let's label. You don't have to draw the shape. I'm just explaining you. 3, 4, and 5. Agreed? So we say pentagon has 5 sides. That's a simple answer. We just need to identify the number of sides. Okay? We don't have to worry about a lot of things. When they're asking just the number of sides, so we remember the grid. Triangle, quadrilateral, pentagon, hexagon, hepta, octa, nanogon, and decagon. Okay? We just need to remember these names. Let's see what they have for us in the next question. Okay. Okay. That's a good question. They're asking us in the next question, question number 8. How many sides does a triangle have? Can anyone answer? Can you answer this? Triangle would mean there are how many sides? Ashik or John? Can I have the answer? How many sides does a... Hi. So the question is, how many sides does a triangle have? We can always refer, I just made a grid over here. We have a grid that says number of sides and the name of the polygon, right? So how many sides would a triangle have? We can draw any triangle, right? For our reference, we draw a triangle. This is a triangle, and we can always count the number of sides. 1 side, 2 sides, and 3 sides. We already know from the grid as well. So we can say a triangle has, tri means 3, has 3 sides. This is a simple answer, right? A polygon with 3 sides is known as a triangle. So we simply say, how many sides does a triangle have? A triangle has 3 sides. Okay, let's look at the next one. Let's look at the next question. Okay. Okay. And the question says, question number 9, how many sides does a nanogon or nonagon has? Okay, or have. So a nonagon is, or a nanogon is, a nanogon is a shape that has how many sides? Can we look at the grid? And can we find the number of sides? A nanogon has, nano means 9. So our answer would be a nanogon has 9 sides. What we need to do is we just need to remember the grid, the names, number of side and the names, right? So this is our requirement that we need to remember. Okay. If I would say for the next question, question number 10, how many sides does a quadrilateral have? See, a quadrilateral is a technical term. It's a very key term. Let's see what is a quadrilateral. Any shape with 4 sides will be a quadrilateral, right? So quadrilateral is the only tricky term because tri means 3, penta means 5, 6 is hexa. We are used to these terms. But quad means QUAD, quad means 4. So you need to remember it's called quadrilateral. So how many sides does a quadrilateral have? We can draw a quadrilateral. This is a quadrilateral. How many sides would be there? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we can say a quadrilateral has how many sides? 4 sides, right? A quadrilateral will always have 4 sides. Move on to the next question. Okay. Let's see if what they're asking us. They're again asking us about regular and irregular, right? So let's do it at the bottom. Okay, question number 10 and question number 11. Okay, what they're asking us is this shape a regular polygon? This shape a regular polygon? See, the first condition is this a polygon? To check if it's a polygon, there were 2 conditions. Is it a closed shape? Yes, it is. Agreed? Straight lines, made up of straight lines? Yes, it is. And it has 3 sides, right? So this is a triangle, right? This is a triangle because it has 3 sides. Agreed? So the question says, is this triangle a regular triangle? The definition of regular and irregular was, in case of regular, the condition was all sides. The requirement for any shape to be regular, the condition was all sides should be of the same length. So let's look at this triangle. Can we say that this side number 1 and side number 2, they do look like the same length, but the third side we have is of different length, right? This and this is same, but the third side is different. That means not all sides are of the same, right? So the answer should be this shape is a polygon is not a regular polygon? Because not all sides have the same length. If all the sides will have the same length, then it would be a regular. But if even one side has a different length, then we say it is not regular. Okay. Let's see again. Heptagon. Okay. Let's do one more question. Question number 12. Then we'll go to that. Okay. It is the same thing. Is this shape a regular polygon? Okay, we'll do the same question. We'll pick up a hexagon. Let's make the shape for the hexagon. Okay, this is the hexagon. How many sides are there in this shape? We can say side number 1, side 2, side 3, 4, 5, and 6. So what we can see in this shape is that are all the sides of the same length? This side looks equals to this, right? This and this. But what about side number 2 and side number 5? Side number 2 and side number 5 are of different lengths because this is a stretched shape, right? So all the sides are not of the same length. So the answer should be this shape is not a regular. In place of polygon, we will use the name for this. How many sides are there? There are 6 sides. A 6-sided shape is known as hexagon. This shape is not a regular hexagon. So we identify this polygon and we give the name as well. We say this is not a regular hexagon, okay? Okay. Okay, let's try some questions from the test. Okay, I'll move on to the test so that we can attempt a few questions. And I would want you to answer those. We'll do them together, but I would want you to answer them, okay? There's a test at the top right-hand corner of the screen. Let's start with the test, do a few questions. Okay. The next one is, okay. The question says, is this a polygon? Okay, just give me a second. I'll just copy the question on the screen. It's a simple yes and no, and there are only 10 questions. The first question of the test, it says, is this a polygon? We need to know 2 conditions for a polygon, right? The 2 conditions are, is it a closed shape? Is it made up of straight lines? These are the 2 options. Is it a closed shape? No, it's not a closed shape. Option A and option B. Can you help me out with which option is the correct option? This is not a closed shape, right? Because it's open over here. Is it made up of straight lines? No, it's not made up of straight line. That means if both the conditions are not met, would this be a polygon? I'm waiting. Will this be a polygon? See, it's not closed. It's not made up of straight lines. So if both the conditions are not met, it cannot be. Even if one condition is meeting, we cannot say it's a polygon. Both conditions have to be true. Yes, it cannot. This is not a polygon, right? No. Is this a polygon? No, it's not a polygon. So that means our option A is the correct option. Okay. Let's go to the next question. How many sides does a nanogon have? Question number 2. How many sides does a nanogon have? We know that nano stands for 9. Okay, we did the names. Question number 2. This is nonagon or nanogon. These are the options A, B, C, and D, right? So we can say if there are 9 sides. I'll just do a rough sketch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, let's do a different. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, rough sketch. Okay, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, I'm just doing a rough sketch so that we have 9 sides. So a nanogon will always have 9 sides. We did a grid, right? You need to remember the names from the grid. It will always have 9 sides. Okay, I'm helping out you with this question because you haven't remembered that. The grid we did already. Remember. Okay. The next question, we did a similar question I would not help you out with. It's how many sides does a hexagon have? Can anyone give me the answer? How many sides are there in a hexagon? Hexa. We did hex already, right? A hexagon has how many sides are there? Ashik, how many sides are there? In a hexagon, how many sides are there? We did previously, right? We did previously. We give the names, number of sides, and the names, right? The shape of the hexagon is something like this. Now, can anyone give me the number of sides? We need to revise the names and the number of sides so that it's easier. When we hear the name, we would know how many sides are there. So let's label 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That means a hexagon has 6 sides. 6 is on option B. We click on option B and that. Okay, that is option B, and we okay. Okay, just a minute, please.